Hello students, we are now in Unit 5. So what we're going to be doing this week is we're going to be looking at measurement. You need to realize that there is such a thing as non-standard measurement. You know, we're so programmed and conditioned to think that when we measure, we're going to measure things in inches or feet or miles or pounds or ounces or whatever. But you can also do non-standard measurement as well. So you can figure out different things depending on, you know, how you want to measure something. Now, we're going to spend just a few minutes, hopefully, on converting within the metric system. This is very, 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 very easy. If you can count and if you know the difference between left and right, then you will have absolutely no problems doing this. Now, one thing we are not going to do is we are not going to convert between customary and metric. We are not going to do that simply because there is no need to do that, and we can find a metric to customary or vice versa app on our phones if we wanted to do that. But we are going to look at converting within the metric system because this is something that is taught, and you do need to be familiar with this and how to do this. But again, if you know the difference between left and right and you can count, you are good to go. Alright, the metric system is easy because it's based on 10. And the reason I say that it's easy is because it is so easy to work with 10. You know, in the customary system, let's just think about how we measure volume. All right, there are 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. There are 2 tablespoons in an ounce, 8 ounces in a cup, 2 cups in a pint, 2 pints in a quart, or 4 cups in a quart, 4 quarts in a gallon, and on and on. And it just, there's no rhyme or reason to the amounts. You know, we have 3, we have 2, we have 2, we have 4, and there's just no rhyme or reason. But in the metric system, it's based on 10, and you know, we can multiply by 10 super easy. So in the metric system, mainly we need to just be familiar with the prefixes. And it depends on what you're talking about as to whether or not what the end of the word is. So just to start out, meter measures length. Alright, if it's liter, that measures volume or liquid. And if it's grams, that measures weight. All right, so you need to make sure you understand the difference between these 3 terms, meter, liter, and gram. Well, you're going to use the same prefixes over and over, and then just depending on whether you're talking about length, volume, or weight, you will then determine whether you want to use meter, liter, or gram. All right, so let's look at the other part of this now. All right, the prefixes are kilo, hecto, deca, had to think for a moment, and then we have deci, centi, and milli. Now this deca, I've seen it spelled both ways with a K and a C. we'll just go with whatever's in the textbook. But I've seen it both ways, but it's abbreviated actually like this. Decimeter is DM, centimeter is cm, millimeter is mm, kilometer or kilometer is km, hectometer, of course, then would be hm. Now, that is assuming we're talking about meters. Okay? If we were talking about weight, remember, weight is the unit, gram is the unit that talks about weight. So if we are talking about weight, this would be kilogram, hectogram, decagram, decigram, centigram, and milligram. Of course, we're familiar with that because of prescriptions. All right, so this one is the meter one, and that's our distance. This is weight. So now let's do volume. The unit we use for volume is liter. So this would be kiloliter, hectoliter, deciliter, deciliter, centiliter, and milliliter. So it's just so much easier because you reuse the same prefixes over and over, and then you just attach the unit that you're talking about, whether it's weight or distance or volume. All right, now let's look at converting. All you have to do to convert is, I'm going to put the initial letter of each prefix. Oh my goodness, I don't know where that came from, but that just popped up. All right, I'm going to put the initial letter. So this is kilo, and then hecto, deca, all right, and then there will be a space here, and I'll explain that in a minute. And then deci, centi, and milli. All right, now this middle part is the actual unit. If we're talking about just grams, just liters, just meters, that's where that would go, is where the unit is. All right, now let's say I have 1 decimeter, and I want to convert that to millimeters. Okay? Now, I'm going to start at decimeter. Now remember, this is just the prefixes up here, but in this problem right here, we are talking about meters. We're talking about distance, but we're talking about decimeter, so that's going to start here. And I'm wanting to go to millimeters, which is here. All right, I'm going from decimeter to millimeter. To get there, I have to go over 1, 2 spaces. That means I'm going to move my decimal 2 spaces to the right, because I just had to go 2 spaces right to get from decimeter to millimeter. Now, if I don't see a decimal, remember it's right here, because that's just the whole number 1. When I move it 2 places right, 1, 2, I fill those in with zeros, and 1 decimeter is the equivalent to 100 millimeters. All right, now we're going to work several of these, so if that kind of got confusing to you, don't worry, we're going to do several. All right, if we do another one, this time, let's say I want to convert 31 meters to centimeters. Well, you look on there and you go, well, where's meters? Remember, this is meters by itself. It does not have a prefix on it. So that's our unit. So we're going to start here at the unit. We're going to centimeters, which would be here. So that's 1, 2 places to the right. So again, I'm going to move this decimal 2 places, 1, 2, to the right. And folks, all we're doing here is we are multiplying and dividing by tens. When you move your decimal to the right, you're multiplying by 10. If you move it 2 places to the right, you're multiplying by 100. If you move it 3 places to the right, you're multiplying by 1,000. And then when you move your decimal to the left, you're dividing by 10. If you move to the left 2 places, you're dividing by 100. If you move 3 places to the left, you're dividing by 1,000, and so forth. So 31 meters is equivalent to 3,100 centimeters. All right. Let's do some more. Let me get all of this kind of out of the way so we have plenty of room here. All right. Now, remember, the unit is talking about either meters, liters, or grams, okay? It depends on whether you're talking about length or volume or weight. All right, this time, let's go from, we're going to start with 72 milligrams, and I want to switch that to grams. All right, so this is milligrams, so this is milli right here, except this time it's talking about weight. So I want to get from milligrams to grams. So I have to go 1, 2, 3 places to the left this time. All right, I'm going to take my 72. I'm going to go 3 places to the left. 1, 2, 3. And drop my decimal in. And I have to fill in a 0. So 72 milligrams is equivalent to 72 thousandths of a gram. All right, let's do one that's just a little bit different this time. Let's do one with liquid. What's our unit for liquid? It's liters. All right, so this time, let's say that I want to go from deciliters to kiloliters. All right, and let's say that I have 4.23 deciliters. All right, where's my deci prefix? It's right here. And I'm going all the way to the kilo prefix. So this is going to be several places. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. All right, that means we're going to move our decimal 4 to the left. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we've got to fill in several zeros, right? So 4 and 23/100 deciliters, I can't even fit that up there in that blank. That is equal to this right here, which, let's see if I can even read that decimal. That as a decimal is going to be 423 tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths, millionths. So that would be 423 millionths of a kiloliter. All right, so this is how we convert between or back and forth from different size things in the metric system. It's not too confusing, I hope. You really just need to make sure that you understand about the prefixes. You need to understand that when we're talking about unit, that this is our unit right here. So if we are wanting to switch, for example, 7 liters to centiliters, all right, I'm going to start here in the middle because that's where my unit is liters. And to get from here to centi, 1, 2, that's 2 over. 1, 2. And drop in that decimal. So 7 liters is the equivalent to 700 centiliters. Alright, so I hope that that's pretty clear as far as how you convert in the metric system.